Hello everyone. So why am I doing this video? Oh God. A couple of days ago, or maybe a week ago, one of my friends rang me and said to me, "Do you know what, Sarah? I should have asked you out when we were younger, but I didn't have the confidence to." And I'm just saying, why not? And he goes, "Because I thought you had it all together." And I'm thinking, had it all together when he was looking at me when I was in my 20s and 30s. I didn't have it all together. I was a mess. A total mess. I've only just recently started getting my life together. And then in conversations that I'm having with other women, and now even younger girls, they're saying exactly the same thing. There's guys who feel that they have it all together and they're not pursuing them. But the thing that is quite, I don't know is the word I'm using, it's scary, is that these guys are professional, they've got their own businesses, they are earning astronomical amount of money. I remember one of them was even a millionaire, okay? And but yet they're so successful at work, but when it comes to going after the woman that they want, they can't do it. And I truly believe it's because guys are not being mentored. Nothing else. Everything in life you're trained to do, driving lessons, in your work, you go to university, everything. But the two most important relationships, which is the intimate relationships and when you become a parent, nobody teaches you about them. And you have to just learn them by trial and error. So I just thought, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to speak from my point of reference, what I believe I would like. I'm hoping it's going to resonate with so many women, but more so, I'm hoping that's going to resonate with the men, because I don't want guys now to get to their age, as some of my friends are in their 50s, and looking back and having regrets. And I don't want young people having a life where they're not even getting what they want, and then they get to a certain age and they think, oh my God, I should have asked her out, should I approached her, but I didn't know how to do it. So you may be already having mentors now, or you may not, but I'm hoping that you can listen in to me. So what I've done, because there's 7 points that I've got, and I'm doing it in 3 sections. The last point is the really most important one. I put it at the back so that you can go through the first 6, follow those through, and if you get to the 7th one then it's too hard, then you can switch off. Okay, so because I struggle sometimes to remember what I have to say, I've got notes that may be looking down, so excuse that, but I just really needed to do this today. Okay, so here goes. So point 1, I believe, guys, before you go into any relationship, okay, if you really want it to work, good guys, you need to know what you want. It sounds really easy, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Because if it was, then we wouldn't be making all the mistakes that we're actually making right now at the moment. So when I'm talking about what your wants are, I'm really talking about the things that are important to you, but you can actually flex on them, you can actually compromise on them, because they're not going to be detrimental to your health or to the relationship that you are in. So I'm not going to be so arrogant and assume that with all the 7 billion people in the world, I know 7 billion are not all men, but all your wants are going to be the same, because they're going to be your preferences, what your wishes and your desires are. And when I'm looking at your wants, I'm also not talking about your external features of the woman that you desire, because you know what your desires are. I'm really going to be looking at your physical wants and your internal wants, because if we can sort those out, that's going to add to your confidence right at the beginning. So what you have to do first and foremost is decide where your preferences are coming from. Oftentimes we don't know where they're coming from. Is it because our families have put it in us, or our friends, our associations, our colleagues? Is it media, things that we picked up? Where are our preferences coming from? And why do we want them? Why are they so important to us? Now think about it. Are you wanting these things because when you get a partner, you want to brag and boast about who they are, what they are doing, what they have? So really, it's not about what you want, but it's about boosting your ego. Or is it the fact that you just want an easier life? So I remember a guy saying to me that he met this woman and she was a nice woman. All you can say that she was a nice woman. It's not a good place to be at when all you can say about a person is that they are nice. That means that you really do not know them. And all you could say is that she was a good homemaker. Got in the relationship, married this lady, and then he says she was completely different when you go into the relationship. But if you are putting yourself out there as a man, as a billboard, and saying these are the qualities that I want, well, any scrupulous woman can manipulate the situation, pretend that this is what she's offering, then you never know until the feet's under the table. So you've got to be careful what you're actually putting out there. If that's what you want, just ask the questions and then see if those are the things that she enjoys doing, her rather thinking, I'm going to buy into what you're saying so you can actually fall for me. Then what you need to look at is whether but you need to think about whether your wants are essentials or non-essentials. Okay, so for instance, imagine you're a person that loves being active. I love being active. Okay, so I know one thing I like is that if I meet someone, I like to know that they like going to the gym. Okay, a lot of guys don't think about that. So you like to be active. So you're going on holidays with your wife, and then what's happening is that each year now it's becoming tedious because you're an active person, but she hates the idea of these activities. So now you've got to compromise. Oftentimes the guys that compromise in order to accommodate your wife's wishes. So you got become quite frustrating for you. So even though that's a non-essential for you, are you going to put that in an essential because then it's going to affect you going forward? Because I mean, you do like to do things with your partners, and holidays are quite a big thing within relationships, okay? But then there are other essential things that you need to take on board. So it's essential that you eat. And in your belief system, you believe that a wife places in the kitchen. Are you going to tell her that? But the thing is this, even though it's an essential want that you want, who's been feeding you before you got in the relationship? How have you been managing? And why does it have to be down to your wife, your female partner, to do those things? So you need to work out now, is that going to be a deal breaker for you? Or is it the case, person, she doesn't want to be a person that's in the kitchen? Can you kind of come together on that and learn together and do those things together? Okay, so those are your wants. You need to know what are your wants, what are your preferences, and then even pin it down even more. Are they essential and non-essential, and which ones are going to be your deal breakers? So that's point one. Point two, following on from that, you also need to know what are your needs. If these are neglected, your core needs, then you are going to suffer tremendously. So what are your core needs? Your core needs are the things that build you up. I call them like it's like your scaffolding. It's your foundation of who you are. And if you know, every structure in the universe has a foundation. And if you have a hairline crack in the foundation, then it's condemned. And that's how your life will feel condemned if your core needs are not met. But sometimes your needs are so buried down that you don't know what they are, and they're often neglected because all you are concerned about are your wants. And many times you don't know what your needs are until you actually get into the relationship. So when you're at that place where you're feeling, I should be settled, I should be enjoying this, then all your unconscious needs then becomes to the surface. So I previously said there's only two relationships that are really important, your intimate ones, and also when you become a parent. And that is so your needs don't really come to the surface until you're in these two type of relationships as well. So you can have friendships, your family, all those type of relationship, but yet it's something that's triggered when you're looking at that deep intimacy with your partner or with your children. Then how can you address these core needs so you know what they are? Well, a good starting place is look at where you're already at. Look at the qualities that you have in the relationships right now. The qualities that bring you comfort, that makes you feel at ease, that gives you the right atmosphere that you are looking for. You should need to make a note of them, so work comes in here. Make a note of them so you know which ones are your priority needs. Also look at the past relationships that you had and just think about, if these needs were in there, how different would this relationship have been? People often forget that you're already in a relationship. So why not utilize that knowledge, the healthy bonds that you've got? When you meet someone, see if these qualities are going to be evident in this relationship from the beginning as soon as you have that conversation. So even though you're attracted by a person's wants, make sure that you don't get distracted until you know that they have at least 5 of your core needs. That's going to be so important. I remember one of my friends saying to me that her son, when he met his girlfriend, he's only in his 20s, said to his girlfriend, I do not want you to shout at me. I want you to speak calmly. This was one of his core needs. He's basically saying that we are intelligent enough for you to let me know what's going on in your mind rather than come shouting and screaming. He was not going to allow that. So you do not need to be afraid when you meet someone, whether you whether they meet your needs or whether you're outside of their whether you are outside their league. Because all you're trying to find out is that, can you be friends? Can you have a conversation with this person? So you're not going to interrogate them straight away on the first date. If it's the right one for you, do your due diligence and let time confirm that she has the right character and the right spirit. Remember this, that a patient man has good understanding. So you must go after what you want. You've got to pursue what you want, because if you don't, you're just going to end up with what's been given to you and you're going to miss out. Then you might only get seconds. And I'm not being disrespectful here, but you will know whether in your heart, whether you've settled, whether you feel satisfied, or whether you're feeling fulfilled and experiencing heaven on earth, or the relationship just feels like hard work. So you may smile and laugh in front of your friends, but when the laughter is over, if your friends have gone, the heartache is still there. So if you constantly shy away from approaching the woman that you desire, eventually you will lose the ability to pursue. You will become weakened in the love muscles and you'll become the hunted, left alone, or still looking in your 50s when you had plenty of opportunities in your youth. These are the areas when you don't know you want and you don't know your needs that may allow yourself to feel that you are emasculated. But the art of strengthening yourself is to try and try and try again until it becomes just part of your comfort zone. You've perfected it. For those of you who love going to the gym or you've achieved excellence in your career, you know it didn't happen overnight. It was progressive movement until you arrived at the point of comfort. So do not give up at the first hurdle. You do not want to look back in your 50s with regret. So know what your core needs are, as well as just knowing your wants. So those are my first 2 points. And there's another 5 points coming up. So what I'd like you to do is to subscribe to my channel so that when my next videos come up that you'll be notified. And why don't you leave some notes in the comments and let me know what you think. And I look forward to seeing you when my next video is up.